Welcome back to another Flashback Friday. This one is going to be more of like a Flashback Friday tip kind of ordeal. Probably going to kind of start leaning that way on a lot of these. Kind of hard to come up with content as far as me remembering things from the past. Like if it's a bait that I want a tournament on or caught them on, it's like they don't make it anymore. I don't have anymore. So it's kind of hard to explain it if I don't have it here to show you guys. So we'll just do a lot of tip stuff as well. We're coming into that time of year. It's fall time, and fish are really starting to school up. As far as, not that they haven't been schooled up all summer, but they're getting to where they're really following bait around. And they're starting to blow up a lot. And the bait's small this time of year. It's hard to catch them schooling fish on a full size topwater for the most part, unless they're really shallow. A lot of these fish that are blowing up out really deep and things like that, you have to match the hatch to be able to catch them. And so it makes it tough to find little baits that you can throw very far to reach them, because a lot of you guys know how schooling fish are. They'll come up here and 5 minutes later they're 3/4 of a mile back behind you or a different direction. I mean, they're just aimlessly out there swimming around, a lot of them. But every now and then you can find them where they're actually holding on a point or a hump of some sort where there's brush that they're usually out over, or grass. Typically here in my area, it's brush piles that they get around. And they don't necessarily sit right over the top of the brush. A lot of them will, but most of them just kind of linger around out off of it, out off the sides of the point that's got a brush pile that they like. And it's typically the brush pile that they've been in and around all summer, whether they use it in the daytime or use it at night a lot. That's usually where they're going to really group up in the summertime. It's around areas or where they're going to group up a lot in the fall time is where they've typically in areas that they've spent most of their summer. But as they really, the water starts to cool down, these fish really get active on top, and they start to bust a lot, chasing these bait fish. And like I was saying earlier, it's hard to match the hatch a lot of times with a bait that you can throw very far and be able to reach them. And a lot of times you have to get in there instantly when they're up on top in order to be able to create a strike and get those fish to bite. So I'm going to show you a bait that we come out with last year at iCast for Yozuri, and it's probably by far my favorite topwater. I've had this bait for about 2 years now. When they first started, sampling it, had the prototypes, and it's a very small bait. This bait is right at 3 inches long, and it's the Yozuri 3DRX pencil 75 size. If you can see it right here, this is one that's battle tested. Believe me, I mean, I've caught a lot of fish on it. You can see it's beat up, but it's not. It's pretty loud, but it's got a tungsten weight transfer type system in it, and I'm telling you, you can throw this bait a long ways. I throw it on a bait caster, but you can throw it on a spinning rod really well too. It's right around 1/2 ounce, so that's one reason you can cast it a long ways. But this bait walks so good, and obviously I tie a loop knot on all my top waters, especially if it doesn't have a split ring or a snap. Now you can put a snap or a split ring on this and make this bait walk very well, but if you can see the line tie on this bait, it's kind of under the mouth. I don't know if you can see real well, the camera focus or whatnot, but it's more down low instead of up right on the front edge. So, or the front of the nose, it's kind of under the nose, and that really allows this bait to dart real well, but jump up out of the water some too when you're working at high speeds, and that's what I really like about it a lot. But I put my loop knot on it, and you can find that loop knot in one of my previous videos that I've done. It's my jig head minnow setup, and I'll talk about that loop knot. I think I actually show it on there, but real simple knot to tie. And like I said, I tie that on this bait, and you can throw this on a spinning rod if you want. I mean, it'd be perfect for that as well, but I like to throw it on a 6.9 medium arc reinforcer, and that's a fast action rod, and I throw it with a 30-pound Yozuri Super Braid tied to a 12 or 14 pound Yo3 T7 fluorocarbon leader. And typically I wouldn't use a fluorocarbon leader on the top water, but this top water, the leader I'm only using is, the leader I use on it's only about 14 to 18 inches. So the fluorocarbon doesn't affect it at all. And it does allow me to work this bait a lot faster without it really coming up out of the water. Just that little bit of fluorocarbon, and I work these baits really fast. I mean, this is not something I throw out there and I'm just twitch. I mean, I'm scooting it, and I really want that bait scurrying and jumping, and I mean, this bait just does so good with erratic movements, and it really gets those fish to bite, and it's that bite size like the shad that they're out there chasing on most of these places, and this works all the way through November here in my areas. As long as that water temp is over 60 degrees is when I like to throw this bait. So guys, I hope that helps. Get you some of these Yo3 3DRX pencils. They are an incredible little top water, and sling it around, and it's that time of year.